What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the show. My name is Brandon Arroyo. This is the Arroyo Show. If it's your first time here, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe. What a guest we have for you here today. You can see playing the role of Mona Lisa in the recently released film Capone, starring Tom Hardy. Please welcome to the show, TILDA del Toro. How are you today? Welcome to the show.
Claps for everybody.
All the way around. How's your day going so far?
It's awesome. How's yours?
Oh, I can't complain. We got some nice heat going on. It feels like summer finally, so that's always a good thing. Talk to me a little bit about the film. So Capone is officially out. Can you talk to me about it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm sure you've heard things about it. A lot of people have. Look, it's a really awesome film that is gonna ruffle and ask and, is breaking rules, and I'm really proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing that, one of these movies that can create some conversation, and, the people, after they watch it, they start talking. So that's always a great thing. When did you first know that you were going to be working in that film? And I always like to hear people's booking calls. I mean, that's such an exciting moment. You go on so many auditions when you finally get that one that is, you're excited about. What was your booking moment?
Yeah, I was traveling a lot from New Orleans to LA at the time. I had just worked in Atlanta, and I was in LA, like proper LA. It was near Silver Lake, and I had kind of already known that I was in the running because there was a callback and then not a callback, but my agent was like, chill. I really think you're still, a really good. It's really good that you're going to get this. And I was like, okay. And, I think when actors get a job that they're super proud of, or, you know what I mean? They super feel like, oh my God, this is going to be an amazing experience. There's sort of a sigh of relief. You know what I mean? That can be unpacked in so many ways, you know what I mean? But it's definitely I was in my car and my agent called and she's like, it's yours. And I was like,
Yeah, that's one of those moments where it's like, it almost like the weight is lifted off of your shoulders. Like you don't have to think about it anymore. You know that it's officially yours.
Yeah. And it's like, I've talked about this before, and I think a lot of artists can relate. You do get to the point where you read for such amazing stuff all the time and you get presented with stuff that you do learn to have a sort of healthy, this doesn't define me, this is my art. A lot of times, even with this project, after, I read for it, I just sort of just put it away. I used to do this thing for myself. I would, and this is not to offend anyone, but I would, rip up the scene, the script and just put it away. And that was my way of saying this is awesome. I hope this happens. But I'm not going to let it define me, and I'm an artist.
All right, so let's take it all the way back and start talking a little bit about the beginning. So born in Chicago, when did you know that you wanted to get into entertainment? I mean, Chicago really is a big entertainment city, especially when you talk about the comedy geniuses that have come out of that city. Where was it that you first decided, okay, acting, entertainment, this is for TILDA?
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm an introvert, you know what I mean? And I was doing visual art in high school. And I met this woman who was in Chicago. We have division teachers, which means a teacher that just takes your attendance and then you go off to other classes. And I was really interested in history and art, horrible in other subjects, but sort of English, history, art, you know what I mean? Anyways, she was an actress, and she, kind of put a little bug under me. And Chicago being the awesome city that it is. So in high school, I could literally there's a publication there called the Chicago Reader. And I just started looking at free acting classes, and my parents were really cool and they just let me take the bus and train wherever I wanted to go. So hello, Chicago, hello, Second City, hello, Improv Olympic, hello, Annoyance Theater, hello, so many grounding opportunities that were just awesome.
Was that intimidating at all, going into some place that's iconic as Second City, Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, well, the first thing is that when you're, it's not just Second City, it's like the whole environment, like people who are at Second City or at IO and stuff. Um, at first it wasn't intimidating because of just bliss, you know what I mean? And I think I was more interested than intimidated. You know, I did feel different than everyone else. Like, uh, I didn't feel like a comedian. That's not the track that I took. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't in it to be into Saturday Night Live. I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I didn't want
Right.
to be main stage Second City. I had just met a casting director very early on. And she was like, look, like you really need improv. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? And then later on, like I, you know, worked with Steppenwolf and did other stuff. And so I was clearly not doing the Second City comedy thing. But I have to tell you that I learned so much. And my fearlessness, just like, they really teach you to be fearless.
And that's such a huge thing, especially in a business like entertainment where you're going to, have to be vulnerable in certain scenes. You're going to have to explore different parts of yourself. To have that fearlessness is such a great tool to have. And you have so many great tools in your tool belt because you've been doing so much training. And I would love to
Mhm.
have you just speak to the importance of doing schooling, doing training and acting, because I think some people that might be getting into it think, oh, you know what? I've never done it before, but I bet I'm a good actor. The importance of training, though, I feel like is overlooked sometimes.
You know, absolutely. Like you would never pick up a piano and think that you could just play a piano, and you really must think of your body and your mind as a piano. You know, you need you know, there's an extra element to acting, right? Which is people are watching you. And in my opinion, you know, there's a very fine line of being aware of it and not aware of it. And that, you know, that's something you need to hone. I mean, I promise you, like, you know, look, it's really about experience, right? Because experiences teach us, you know, what we need to know. So there's some people who go into the business and then they, you know, but I promise you that those people are being schooled by their experiences. Nothing is coming like just like that. I mean, you know, we look at people like Dakota Fanning. I mean, yes, obviously she's extreme talent. Um, she, you know, we all have elements of ourselves, but yeah, I mean, look, I trained a lot, and you know what? In Chicago, it's not about what you look like or anything like that. Like, I was only respected if I was good. Anybody in Chicago was like that. You know, it's sort of this like New York kind of like, you know what I mean? So it's like, doesn't matter if you're pretty or whatever, like, what can you do? You know, how hard have you worked? And yeah, get that training. I still train. I still work with people when I'm, you know, like if you're not working consistently, you know what I mean? Like you should be honing your craft.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed doing the research on your profile because you have done so much training. Can you talk to me a little bit about your experience doing the University of Chicago Moscow Art Theater Student Exchange Program? Like, what
Yeah.
was that whole thing like for you? Because it's always like, I don't know, there's just something different about doing that sort of program.
Yeah, so what's really interesting about that, it was obviously purely Stanislavski, you know what I mean? And then I trained a lot after that, and then eventually went back to Meisner, which connects to Stanislavski in my life for me, okay? And that was such an intense training program. I'm so lucky to have been involved in that program, which was the Moscow Art Theater was coming to the University of Chicago and doing these really extensive, you know, workshops. It was 6 days a week, every day. Every Saturday was all physical. You know, it was literally like Commedia dell'arte, like, you know what I mean? Like acrobats, like everything. And our teachers were Russian. They did not speak English, but we really got a language going. So I really understood when he was like, and he said something very interesting to me, and I had just started acting, and he said, you know, you do not know your power yet, but you will one day. Um, and so it was very intense. It was almost we did so much kind of work, you know what I mean? Even in terms of like, almost not like psychic work, but like, you know, stuff like sensory work that was so intense, you know what I mean? And at that point I was pretty already decided that I wanted to be a serious actress, meaning I study this seriously and I do it. So it was right up my alley.
She is TILDA del Toro. You can see her playing the role of Mona Lisa in the recently released film Capone, starring Tom Hardy. So one more film I wanted to talk to you about real quick, because obviously you have a couple of new projects that are coming out in the near future. But before we get to the new stuff, the Kevin Hart film Night School, for someone that came out of Chicago, came out of Second City, which is such a huge comedy mecca, to be in a film with Kevin Hart, who's, you know, arguably the biggest comedian of the decade, the last 10 years. What was that like for you?
I mean, it was awesome. It was like all gloves off, you know what I mean? Like him, and I also want to, you know, shoot out Al Madrigal and working with them. It was like, all right, like they would just start going off and you needed to like be there. And it was hilarious. Like we ran scenes and they were just like, you know, like wasn't the script, and it was like, here we go, you know, and they made it made the cut, and I'm like, they're awesome, you know.
It's almost like an equivalent of if you were to be on set with Eddie Murphy in the 80s or a Jim Carrey in the 90s, to be around Kevin Hart. It's just something amazing to see and historic, really.
Yeah, and I just want to say also, Kevin Hart was the most awesome person ever, you know what I mean? Like so personable, so present, like really like, you know, just awesome and kind, and you know, I just want to, you know, make sure people know that too.
A couple of projects already in post-production, a couple of them on their way soon. Talk to me about what we can look forward to. Exfil coming up soon, and then a couple of shorts that you're coming up as well. What do we have to look forward to the rest of the way here in 2020?
Yeah. So the biggest thing I think I'm looking at is the film that I wrote. It's called Julia. It is about a Latina girl in Chicago who is brought up in the barrio and has an affinity for wine, not just an affinity, but a gift, a palate, and sort of, you know, gets pulled out of the world and given opportunities, but she's also dealing with, you know, the realities of, you know, being an inner city girl in Chicago. So so there's that. That's my main project. And then also, yeah, Exfil is a project that is still in production. It's done by the you know, a really great Belgian director. And so we'll see what happens with that. If you are familiar with the film world, it you know, it takes a lot of time. Sometimes it doesn't.
Amen
you know,
to that.
Night School was really fast, but you know, love projects take more time.
Before we let you go, we have what we call the final five. It is your who, what, when, where, and which of what you got going on right now. Number one, who do you speak with the most right now?
Rob Welsh.
What item can you not go a day without using that is not your phone or a computer?
Can it be food?
It can be food.
Ginger root beer.
Oh, there it is. Well done. Do you go with the combination of ginger and root beer, or is it literally ginger root beer?
It's a stevia soda, so it's sugar-free. Hello. So
there it is. When did you know that you wanted to be an actress?
15.
Okay, where is your dream vacation?
Oh my God, Ireland.
And finally, which song is your go-to for karaoke?
Oh my God. First I was afraid. I was petrified.
Oh gosh, I love it. That's just a song that'll get you right here and just get you ready to go take on the world. Well, she is TILDA del Toro. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. We're really looking forward to seeing what you have the rest of the year coming up.
It's so good to talk to you. Bye.
Thank you.